How's it going, Top Forest TV? My name is Jack, and welcome to my preview for Forest's first Premier League away day of the season as we face Southampton at the St Mary's Stadium. Southampton, bit of an interesting one to see how Southampton do today, to be honest with you, because I know against Newcastle, myself included, and a lot of other people thought that Southampton were going to get hammered, and maybe the sending off to Fabian Shaw, which I'll touch on again in a moment, maybe that has something to do with it, that has a part to play in why it was only 1-0 and Newcastle kind of defended for majority of the game, tried to see out what they had and allowed Southampton to create more chances. Whether that plays a part, I'm sure we'll find out today if we're able to keep 10 men on the pitch and Brian Diaz doesn't sling himself on the floor. I mean, it's just embarrassing, isn't it? I'll touch it now. I know it's the way that football is at the minute, and the slightest bit of contact, if you go down and make a big enough meal of it, then your opponent's going to get sent off. It's just how it works. Now, if you did that out in the normal world, out on the street, say you went on a night out and someone did that, you put their head onto your forehead, like not even a headbutt, just went in like that, and you slung yourself on the floor, you would be the laughing stock of wherever you are for a long, long time. Hopefully that doesn't happen today, and nothing like that occurs in terms of getting other players sent off. And hopefully we'll be able to see Southampton against 11 men and see how they actually do fare. In terms of Forest, I think it will be, we saw some good parts of that game against Bournemouth, and we saw some parts that probably could have done with a little bit of work. We still look a little bit shaky from set pieces, so hopefully that's something that we've been learning and working on during the week since the Bournemouth match. I think that you've got some good things to take from that Bournemouth performance. Don't get me wrong. I think Gibbs White, again, looked brilliant. He was absolutely everywhere, all action, defending, attacking, lose the ball. He would try with everything in his might to win it back. It was fantastic. Chris Wood getting on the score sheet again, scoring with his only shot of the game, which just shows how clinical he is. Takes his chances when they come to him. And for someone like Forest, who, in some games, we're just not going to create a load of chances. It's just how it's going to be, being a team, in the lower reaches of the league. We're not always going to be creating chance after chance after chance. I know Southampton did against Newcastle, but in most games we're not going to be able to create a plethora of chances. We can against the likes of Bournemouth and potentially Southampton and teams in and around where we are, but looking up to even like your West Hams and beyond, we're not always going to have loads of chances. So to have a goal scorer like Chris Wood, who's able to take those chances as soon as they arrive to him, it's invaluable. It's so good for us. People laughed at us for spending as much as we did, and at the time, I'll hold my hands up, and I was a bit like, really, like we're spending that much on Chris Wood, who didn't really do too much for Newcastle. It was almost a sort of a signing of like, right, we're up against Burnley to stay up here. If we sign their striker, then that weakens them. Whether he strengthens us or not doesn't really matter too much. That's that. It worked for them. Don't get me wrong, it worked for them, and I'm glad that we have him. And I think now the price tag looks, not as bad as it did at all. To be honest with you, I think we could look at it and justify it a bit more now. And for someone like Chris Wood to have him in the side, and to have someone like that in a relegation scrap, or in a side that are looking to pull away from relegation, which we're trying to do this season, you can't put a price tag on it. And I'm really happy that we have someone like that at the club. Really chuffed with that one. But if you look at this game as a whole, then I think I expect Forest to get something from it, be it a draw or 3 points. I feel confident about this one going into the game. I feel like we can hurt Southampton in moments. I feel like we have quality in our side to really punish them and to score a couple of goals, or score a goal and then be able to keep what we've got. I've kept Callum Hudson-Odoi in my FPL. I'm hoping, I just envision him cutting inside in the St Mary's Stadium and just unleashing one past the keeper. I think, is it Gavin Bazunu? I think they've got in goal there at Southampton still. So or Alex McCarthy. I don't think they've brought one in. I could be wrong, but one of those two, if it is them. I feel like they'll fall foul to a Callum Hudson-Odoi cut inside and a bang into the bottom corner or top corner, depending on what he fancies. And look, I feel confident for this one. I look at this game. It's a game that I think we should be getting points from. If we want to be where we want to be come the end of the season, if we want to be a side that's sort of not battling relegation on the final few days, where we've pulled ourselves to safety with a good few games to go. We want to be beating these sorts of teams and winning these sorts of games. A lot of people have predicted Southampton to go back down, and if that's true, if that's what they're going to do, we need to be getting the points against them. The first year we went up, they were the only side that we beat away from home in the league. I think actually we beat Grimsby. We beat Grimsby in the League Cup because I was there for that one. But I think Southampton were the only side that we beat in the Premier League away from home all season. So that we've beaten them at St Mary's before, so it's not like we since going up we haven't beaten them there. So we have beaten them there, which is good. There's a few players obviously still there from that side, not many these days. Ryan Yates is the only guy still at the club from the promotion season in terms of the players. I think Alex Myton is still about in the lower reaches of the club. I think he's in the under-23s or something like that. But in terms of who were actually really in the squad and affected us, Ryan Yates is the only one left. From the side that we had that probably beat Southampton, off the top of my head, I can think of Neko, I can think of Taiwo. I think to be honest with you, there really isn't many left over from that side. But I think they can take that into the game, and hopefully it gives them a little bit of an edge. But yeah, Southampton like to play out from the back. They've got a manager, Russell Martin, who has adopted that style of play, the Pep Guardiola way. And I think in some games it can work for him. In some games it won't. I'll be really interested to see if he falls down the same path as maybe a Bielsa or a Vincent Kompany, who is persistent with the way that they want to play, even if it's not showing the results on the pitch. Now, I'm not accusing Bielsa of this, but it seems like with some managers, maybe like Kompany, I don't know, I might be wrong, but they prioritise the way that they want the team to play over them getting results because it's more beneficial to them as a manager, because it can help them to get better jobs. Just look at Company Munich from getting relegated from the Premier League, which is unheard of. If you'd have said that like 10, 15 years ago, that the guy who got relegated 19th in the Premier League will then take on the job as Bayern Munich coach, unless it was like an unreal gaffer who's come in and, almost kept a team up that are really struggling, it got them actually playing well and just fell short, you would kind of be bewildered. You would think, what on earth are you on about? So it'll be interesting to see if Russell Martin does fall under that kind of category of a manager who looks to try and play a certain way regardless of the situation, or if he does switch things up. I hope he does, for his sake and for Southampton, in a way, but then I also hope it doesn't, because if it doesn't work, it's another team that are going to go down again, not us. So yeah, look, it'll be interesting to see how things go. He's very persistent with playing out from the back, and I think it was actually Alex McCarthy who started against Newcastle because it was his mistake that led to a goal. Yeah, look, I think if we can press right, which I know that we can, we've got Gibbs White who loves to do it. We've got fast pacey wingers who can cause an issue getting up in behind the fullbacks. So if we can cause issues that way, then I think we can reap some benefits, reap some awards. But yeah, I'm confident for this one. I am confident. I'm going to say Forest 2, Southampton 1. Go for an away win, our first away win of the season, the first away game of the season. And yeah, hopefully we can go on and get all 3 points. So if you did enjoy this video, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already and you are new around here. Let us know your thoughts on the game, how you think it might pan out. If I have to go for goal scorers, I'm going to go for Callum Hudson-Odoi, and I'm going to go for, let's go with a cheeky little bit of Chris Wood. Why not? Let's keep him scoring, keep him on the score sheet. So like I say, if you did enjoy, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and come on, you Reds.